Hello, students. Have you ever wondered why some of your friends can roll their tongue into a tube while others simply can't, no matter how hard they try? That fascinating difference lies in something tiny but powerful: your genes. Every living organism, from a small bacterium to a human being, carries instructions for traits in the form of genes. But here's the wonder: each gene usually exists in alternative forms, and we call these alleles. For tongue rolling, there are two possible alleles: one allows rolling and the other prevents it. When you see your classmates, you're actually observing the effects of alleles in action. Remember, each person inherits one copy of a gene from their mother and one from their father, and together these decide the traits we express. Now, let's explore how alleles bring variety into life. Alleles produce different effects of the same character, and that's why no two people look exactly the same, even within families. For instance, the gene responsible for tongue rolling comes in two forms: R for rolling and R for non-rolling. If you have R, your tongue can roll. If you have two RS, it cannot. But when both forms are present, it is their interaction that decides the final outcome. Isn't it amazing? The same genetic principle explains why siblings often differ in eye color, hair texture, or even ability to taste bitterness in certain foods. This diversity is not random, it helps species adapt and survive in changing environments. Let's make this even clearer. Out of two alleles, one usually dominates. This is called the dominant allele, and the other is called the recessive allele. In our example, R for tongue rolling is dominant, while R is recessive. So if you are RR or RR, you can roll your tongue. Only if you are RR, the recessive form, you cannot roll it. Scientists use a simple rule: dominant alleles are written with capital letters, recessive ones with small letters. So, when we write R for rolling and R for non-rolling, we can predict which traits will appear in a child. It's like a genetic code that determines life's visible outcomes. Now, let's talk about the arrangement of alleles in an individual. If both alleles are identical, like RR or RR, we call it homozygous. That means the person has a pure set of instructions for that trait. If the alleles are different, like RR, we call it heterozygous. Here, the dominant allele shows up, but the recessive one still silently exists. This hidden allele can reappear in future generations. That's why a trait like non-tongue rolling can suddenly appear in a child, even if both parents can roll their tongues. In agriculture too, farmers use pure or homozygous lines to breed uniform crops, ensuring predictability in traits like size or color of fruits. Now let's look at where these alleles actually live: on our chromosomes. Each gene has a fixed location on a chromosome, called a locus. Since we have two sets of chromosomes, we inherit one allele from each parent. Imagine a pair of chromosomes with genes labeled A, B, C, and D. If both alleles are the same, like or BB, it's homozygous. But if they are different, like CC or DD, it's heterozygous. This neat arrangement on chromosomes ensures that during meiosis and fertilization, traits are passed in a systematic way from parents to offspring. It's like nature's perfect filing system, making sure genetic information is not lost but beautifully preserved across generations. So, how do these alleles actually decide what we see in an organism? When a dominant allele is present, it masks the effect of the recessive allele. That's why the dominant trait is expressed even if only one copy is present. Recessive traits, however, need both alleles to be recessive before they can be seen. In a tongue rolling case, RR and RR both mean rolling is possible, but only RR results in non-rolling. This principle is the foundation of Mendel's laws of inheritance, which explain how traits are transmitted and why some traits skip generations but suddenly reappear in grandchildren. Isn't it fascinating how something as tiny as a gene has the power to shape what we see in entire families? Let's quickly bring everything together. We learned that alleles are alternative forms of a gene, creating variations in traits. Some alleles are dominant, others are recessive, and their combinations decide what we observe. When both alleles are identical, it's homozygous; when they differ, it's heterozygous. All of this is neatly arranged on chromosomes, ensuring orderly inheritance. And remember, traits like tongue rolling, eye color, or even curly hair all follow these same principles. Isn't it wonderful that the story of who we are, our similarities and our differences, can be traced back to the dance of alleles inside our cells? Biology truly shows us the hidden magic of life. I hope you now appreciate how these simple genetic rules create the incredible diversity of humans and all living organisms. Until next time, keep observing, keep asking questions, and stay curious about the marvels of biology.